In this tutorial, I'm going to first of all explain to you how you can make alignment keys for your obby, and for the other, how you can make a strip stage. So first of all, to make alignment keys, what we want to do is, first of all, a stage element that can work with alignment keys is just having, first of all, a part. Then let's just make this, for instance, smooth plastic. You can have to design whatever you want. I'm going to have it, let's say, a 4x4x4. And then I'm going to stack a second one on top and make it be a different color. It is very important that these are separate parts. Then I'm going to duplicate this and stack it on top, and I'm going to anchor the whole pillar. Now, typically, you should not jump onto this without any help, but alignment keys make it possible. So what we're going to do is we are in Starter GUI going to insert a script, specifically a local script, and we're going to call it alignment keys. In this script, what we're going to do is we are first of all going to get the user input service. So local UIS equals to game get service. In the brackets, we're going to put quotation marks, and in those we're going to write user input service. Then after the brackets, we're going to drop 2 lines, and we are going to say UIS.input began connect function open bracket input close the bracket, drop a line, and it's going to insert end closing bracket for us. Now we're going to set if input.keycode equals to enum.keycode.comma. Then we're going to set if, we're going to drop a line, backspace 1 so that it goes in, and we're going to say else if input.keycode equals to enum.keycode.period. Then, and let's format this, and we are closer to finished. So next up, what we want to do is we want to, here after UIS, drop 2 lines, put our cursor to the center position, and say function rotate cam open bracket direction closing bracket drop a line. Then we are back in our input began in the G-code. When it checks if it's comma, we are going to say rotate cam, and in the brackets quotation marks, and in these quotation marks left. We can copy this line of code and paste it in the, if it's a period, and just replace this with right. I'm not going to capitalize this, and this is how I'm going to keep it. Now in the rotate cam function, we're going to say local current cf equals to cam.cframe. Now we need cam. So up here after UIS, we're going to drop 2 lines, and in the center we're going to say local cam equals to workspace.current camera, and we're going to drop a line and going to say local plr equals to game.players.local player. Back in the rotate cam function, we're going to click on the end of the line of local current cf equals to cam.cframe. We're going to drop a line, and we're going to say local rotation. We're going to drop 2 more lines, and then we are going to say if direction equals to, and then in quotation marks left. Then we're going to drop a line. It's going to insert an end and an end for us. And we're going to say rotation equals to cframe dot angles in the brackets 0 comma space math dot rad open bracket 45 closing bracket comma 0 space 0. We're going to drop a line, backspace, else if direction equals to in quotation marks right. Then we are just going to copy this line of code, and we are going to over here before the after the round, we're just going to insert a minus. And finally, after the end, first end, we're going to drop 2 lines and going to say can.cframe equals to turn cf space multiplied by rotation. Okay, so this is going to give us this is going to rotate the camera. The only problem we currently have is that the period button already opens the Roblox emoji UI, which isn't even that good. So, what we are going to do to stop this, because Roblox actually allows us to do so, is after the variable declaration of PLR and before the function rotate cam, we're going to drop 2 lines, and in the middle we're going to say game.starterGUI set core GUI enabled enum.core GUI type dot emote GUI comma space false. Now actually, if you want, you can actually also disable other core GUIs. I mean, if we just place a dot, we can disable the backpack, health, player list, chat emote GUI, and all of them, and the captures, and even the self view. So, but because I, for one, only want to disable this one, I'm just going to keep it at that. And with that, we are finished with adding alignment keys. Let's just actually check if this works fully. So I'm going to load into the game, and I'm going to walk over there to my piece over there. If I arrive here, I'm going to stand against it. For one, we can use the button and we can use period and comma to rotate our camera like this really rapidly. So now we're going to start spamming spacebar, holding W, and spamming comma and period. First one, then the other. And sometimes, yeah, backwards. Oh, I got over. Yeah, it's alignment keys are sometimes tricky to use. Yeah, we should wall hop now. Now, of course, players can also just by default do this without using alignment keys. But it's just a bit more tricky if you're not used to doing so. So, next up, we're going to make a skip stage GUI so that you can earn some money off your obby. So, to do this, first of all, you want to have a GUI. Now, I am going to supply you with the GUI I am using. It will not be containing any of the scripts, because else you won't be watching this tutorial, and at the end you'll have no clue why this works. I am currently probably also linking to you a playlist, which is going to explain to you how you can make your own GUIs that are going to look similar to mine. I'm just going to paste this over here, my GUI. I'm going to have a link to this exact GUI in the description, and let's go. So, currently this GUI is just a frame with some stuff that GUIs need so that they look correct. Okay, but first of all, we want to make so that this page that currently displays label actually shows how much stages and such you have. So what I'm going to do is I am going to select it, press Ctrl and I at the same time, and select local script. Then, in this local script, I'm going to press Ctrl and A and then backspace. This deletes all contents of the local script, and then I'm going to write local rs equals to get service in the brackets. I'm going to insert quotation marks and I'm going to say run service. I'm going to, after the brackets, drop 2 lines, and I'm going to say rs.render stepped colon to next function. After the closing bracket, I'm going to drop a line, and I'm going to say script.parent.text equals to open quotation mark stage colon space closing quotation mark game players local player leader stats, all in one word, no capitals, spelled exactly like this. Open square bracket, open quotation mark, current space value, closing quotation marks, closing square bracket, dot value, dot, open quotation mark, slash, closing quotation mark, dot, game, dot players, dot local player, dot leaders stats, once again, spelled exactly like this. open square bracket, open quotation mark, highest space stage, spelled once again exactly like this, closing quotation mark, closing square bracket, dot value, open quotation mark, space, slash, space, closing quotation mark, hashtag. This is probably the most awkward piece of code you'll ever see. Now, and then workspace dot spawns colon get children. Now, if I zoom out, oh wow, this is an impressively long line of code. It is, yeah, I just do not want to make variables. Technically, you could, let's say, have a variable, but at the end of the day, I thought it would be more useful to just have this all in one line, and it worked either way. So let's just run the game now. Oh, it does not appear to be loading output. Oh, yep, there's an error. Let's find out why. It's saying something that current value is not a valid number. So we're going to check. Oh, it's current stage, not current value. Okay, so we're just going to quickly get into the local script, modify that instead of current value, it says current stage. And now if we play the game, as we can see, it displays stage colon space 3 slash 4 space slash space 4. What this means is that currently, first digit is the current stage, second digit is our highest stage, and the fourth digit is the amount of stages. If I press the red arrow button, currently nothing happens. The idea of this is that because you can select a lower stage than you are at, it's going to display that first, the stage you are on. Then it displays the high stage you have on lock. And finally, it displays the high stage that exists in the game. So if I go further here and touch this, now I'm 4 out of 4 out of 4. So I'm on my high stage and the highest stage in the entire game. Next up, let's actually make the green and red button, the funny green and red button that is at the top of the screen here, do something. We are in replicated storage, going to insert 3 remote events. First of all, we have increase stage, then we have decrease stage, and then finally we have skip stage. Next up, we are then in batch going to add a local script in the batch text button, and we're going to say script.parent mouse button and click colon to next function. We're going to, after the closing bracket, drop a line. Game.replicated storage.decrease stage colon fire server open bracket close bracket, nothing else. We are just going to copy this local script and paste it in the next button. And here we're going to modify the line of code that instead of decrease stage, it says increase stage. Next up, we're going to go to the server and we're going to insert a script in server script service. We're going to call this the script the stage changer handler. And in here, we are going to say game.replicate storage.increase stage.on server event colon connect function open bracket close bracket drop a line. Oh yeah, and actually in the after the open bracket, after the function, we're just going to say PLR. Now, this is the most easy thing ever. If PLR leader stats open square bracket, open quotation mark, current stage, closing quotation mark, closing square bracket, dot value is smaller then plr.leaders, that's open square bracket, open quotation mark, highest space stage, closing quotation mark, closing square bracket, dot value, then plr.leaders stats, open square bracket, actually, open square bracket, open quotation mark, current stage, closing quotation mark, closing square bracket, dot value, plus equals to 1. And finally, just plr colon load character. We can copy this entire remote event, drop 2 lines afterwards, and then replace the increase stage with decrease stage. And then we are going to replace the smaller than with bigger or equal to 2, and we're going to replace the plus with the minus. And we're just going to remove the plr.leader sets at height stage that value. Now let's test this out. If you play it, currently we are at the 4th stage. So this is the 1, this is the 2, this is the 3, this is the 4th stage. Now if I press the red button, I'm on the 3rd stage. I can press it twice more. I'm on the 1st stage. I can click it multiple times again. You might hear my mouse, but it doesn't do anything. Now if I click once to green, it teleports me to the second checkpoint again. I can go further. If I'm actually were to go onto the server to quickly modify the data of my highest stage, assuming I was maximally at the 3rd stage, I guess I just need to quickly reset my character for this. Oh, the problem is I'd also have to modify the current stage to be like 3 or something. Yeah, of course, currently it displays that I'm stage 3 out of 3 out of 4, so I'm on my house stage is 3, I'm on stage 3, there are 4 stages. If I now click green, nothing happens. I can click red, I go to 2, I can now press this, and yeah, this all works. Next up, let's actually make so that people can skip stages. Okay, how do we make that people can skip stages? Well, we have to have a local script in our skip button. So, how do we get a local script in our script button? We select it, press Ctrl I, and search up local script. Ctrl A, backspace, and we have an empty local script. Now we don't want it empty, but instead we're going to say script, parent, mouse click, go to the next function, open bracket, close bracket, drop a line, game.replicate source, that's skip stage, fire server. We can close off the script, and finally return to the stage changer handler. Now things get a bit more complicated, because we are going to go back to our obby tutorial tab, and at the top we should have a button called game settings. If we click this, now if we're back here, we can go back into the stage changer handler, and we are at the top of the script, going to drop 2 lines, go to the top and say local skip ID equals to Control V to paste our numbers. Now we're going to drop 2 more lines at the top of the code, and we're going to say local MPS equals to game colon get service in the brackets quotation marks, and then we're going to say marketplace service. Now what we're going to do is at the bottom, top, whatever, as long as it's below MPS and skip ID, we're going to drop 2 lines, and we are going to say game.replicate storage skip stage on server and colon function open bracket BLR close bracket drop a line, and it's going to insert and closing bracket for us. Now what we're going to do is we are going to check if plr.leader stats in square brackets we're going to have quotation marks, and in there we're going to say highest stage after the closing square bracket dot value is smaller than hashtag workspace that spawns colon get children. Then we are now going to say MPS colon from product purchase. In the brackets we're going to say plr comma space skip ID comma space false comma space enum.currency type.robux. Now, first of all, we're telling which player to tell to purchase something. Then we have the ID for which thing to purchase, so our strip ID, so that it prompts him to purchase the strip stage game pass. Then should it equip it, but because there is nothing to equip, no. And lastly, we're just saying that it costs robots. Then we can drop two lines of code and say MPS dot from product purchase finished connect function open bracket user ID comma skip ID comma is purchased, and then we can, after the closing bracket, drop a line, and then we're going to check if is purchased. Then leader stats dot in square brackets in quotation marks highest stage after this square bracket dot value plus equals to 1. Two more lines of code. dot leaders stats open square bracket open quotation mark current space stage closing quotation mark closing square bracket dot value equals to dot leaders stats open square bracket open quotation mark highest space stage closing quotation mark closing square bracket dot value, and finally load character. This just checks has he not yet reached the highest stage so that he can't waste his money. If that is the case, it tells him buy this thing. Then if it finishes the purchase, so if he either clicks cancel or purchases and it worked, then it checks if purchased, so yes, he purchased it correctly and everything. Then we can just increase his highest stage by 1 and set his current stage to that stage and reset his character. And let's now play the game and check if this works. Now currently, oh yeah, we achieved the highest stage. So let's just quickly modify my player data so that it is not the case. And let's go back onto the client. And currently we can be either on stage 1 or stage 2. We can go further. And assuming for some reason it's so hard to get to stage 3, we can just click skip. And it's going to prompt us the purchase of would you like to buy skip stage for 10 robots. We can click cancel, then nothing's going to happen because we didn't actually buy it. Now we can click skip, and then click the robots item 10, and oh, it got us to number 4. Oh, errors. Oh, I might see what might be happening. Okay, so let's just quickly modify my data to be that I'm on stage 1 for everything. So, I assume if I click skip once and buy that, yes, it teleports me to stage 2. If I were to reset my data once again to 1, and now click skip once and then click cancel. Click it again and click cancel yet another time. Click it another time and click cancel. And for the final time, click skip, but now actually pretend to buy it. Yes, it teleport. Oh, why is this happening? It teleports me to the how many stage additional to the one I'm on as of how many times I've clicked the skip button. Oh, I probably have to some way disconnect them. Okay, explaining Roblox here. So, what is currently happening is something that bases off of how Roblox Studio's Lua actually works. And what is technically happening is that if somebody buys and presses the cancel button, then it still queues his purchase in the script. And if he presses the buy button once again, it opens another instance of this script technically, which results in that if he then buys it, then both instances of the script execute with true for if he's actually purchasing it, so it will increase the stage 2 times. This is absolutely stupid, and the only thing we can do against that is just wrap this into a function which can only be executed once in this way. So let's just do that. So to do this, we are just going to somewhere insert a function on buy, open bracket, and then we can just copy over these parameters over here and close the bracket and drop a line. In here, we are just going to check if purchase, and actually we're going to replace ship ID with ID. And then we're just going to check if ID equals to ship ID. Then, what something I was doing wrong is that I was just checking, I wasn't even caring about the ID. Because technically, if you were to just try purchase anything, then it would count as a skip stage, which you probably don't want. So, if it actually is the purchase one, we just want to quickly get the players. Local var equals to game.players colon get player by user ID, and what we then can do is we can go over here after the if statement everything and copy that, paste it over here, and what we can then do is here replace the entire product purchase finish to internet function everything. We should just remove that, and somewhere in the middle of nowhere we can just go mps dot prompt product purchase finished colon connect on buy in the brackets. Now let's check if this works. So if we load in, I reset my stage values both to 1. Okay, back on the client. If we were to click the skip button and click cancel, and now click the skip, oh, I think I know why. This is an easy fix. This is not some stupid thing. We're just after the if statement, we're going to check if is purchased. Then indent the code. After the code, add. Okay. Now, if you play, and I reset my stage values to 1, and then I press the skip button, press cancel, nothing happens, and nothing should. If I press skip and buy, now I should land at stage 2 before it would send me to stage 3, or whatever. If I now directly press skip and press buy, it will also just send me to stage 3, as it should. I can, of course, just walk onto the 4th stage. Perfect, and I can switch messages. Okay, in this tutorial I had showed you how you can, for one, make alignment keys that should make wall hubs easier so that you can inbuild those into your obby. And I have showed you how you can make this GUI over here that will display the player what stage they are at, and that will allow them to switch between their stages and skip a stage in case they find one too difficult. I hope you enjoyed and or learned something new, and that you watch maybe some of my other tutorial videos where I show you other cool stuff. Bye!